again. You know, when I was growing up, I had the same dream over and over and over again for years and years. Don't know why. Never got very far in the dream, but every once in a while, a couple years later, well, I'd say probably about 10 years later, I finally got far enough in the dream to where it finally ended. I finally got to the end. Do you ever have those dreams where you get to a certain point and it stops? Just annoyingly stop, like a movie. Just stops at this one part and you can't get past it. And then finally, one day, the dream ends. You finally get to the end.
Sure. Yeah. It's so and sometimes it's so frustrating. It's so frustrating, that you can't really pull through there. Now, do you want me to share a little bit that's in the psychic dreams in my book? I could read a little segment.
Sure, if you'd like.
Okay. Sure. March 12th, 2017, 1:23 a.m. I was deep asleep when I started to hear what appears to be voices communicating from the kitchen area located in the first floor. A few moments went by and I heard a loud boom downstairs. Everyone in the house heard it. I got up and started to walk to the door to the hallway located outside my bedroom. I called to my dog Bella to come with me. She appeared to not be interested and did not follow me until I started to run downstairs. My heart sunk a little with a tad bit of fear when I then called upon my spiritual team to eliminate the fear that was taking place. As I walked towards the kitchen area, just downstairs within the living room, I found a picture from the fireplace mantel thrown to the ground. The picture was about 4 feet from the fireplace mantel where it was hanging the previous night. The picture itself was lying face down. I bent over, picked up the picture to find it was of my 3 children. The night has always been full of darkness, representing the distinguished abandonment of light. This was a true test to my awakening. Was I ready for the ride of a lifetime? I would find answers which shifted from my previous religious upbringing, and that was kind of a shift. And that night, what was interesting is what I thought was a dream. I got up the next morning and I found this picture, Denise, laying flat on the ground, just like I had dreamt it the night before.
Wow. Do you know what it meant?
It's maybe abandoning, being so engrossed in the darkness that I was abandoning, felt like that I was potentially abandoning my family.
Yeah, because, I know that dreams can mean different things to different people. You can have a dream dictionary and what they say universally these things mean. But internally, they mean something different to everyone. Not necessarily the same thing. Even tarot card readings, from what I understand, the cards may mean something specific, but when you put in the human factor, they mean something different sometimes. So we got a couple more questions in chat. Here we go. Carl asks, what do school officials and parents think of the kids you coach think of your abilities?
Well, I am not open. I do not share my psychic mediumship, within my job, much like I do not share my political affiliation with my job, because I think it's my job to teach all various aspects within the political science realm, which I teach, and nothing more, nothing less. That's just who I am. That's what I was brought up to be, and I don't, they see me as this ghost hunter. They see my books out there and whatnot, and some of them read them, and some of them think that they're quite good. But it's really not my job to monopolize, what I'm doing in this mannerism within my day job, which is just, I'm supposed to educate kids, help them find answers and have their eyes on the prize and be great adults.
I think that you do a very good job of keeping everything separate, because I know that's why you go by a different name on Facebook than your real name.
Yep.
To keep it separate, to make sure that people don't get confused at this person to this person, because your teacher person is maybe the same person, but as far as the kids are concerned, it's a different person.
Absolutely.
And they have to stay separate because that's your career. Your professional career is different than this other career. That's the way I see it anyway.
For a certainty, yes.
So, and how your bills get paid is really important.
It absolutely is. And you know what? I love teaching again. I love coaching again. It's like I've had my second breath.
I know that this past football season, you wish that you'd had some spirits helping you out with that one.
It was rough. It's rough going from several years in the playoffs to an 0-9 season. I was moved over to the boys from the girls side of things, and the girls are very successful. Our JV team's 2-1, but our varsity team's 0-3. But we're trying to dig back in and improve. That's really who I've always been, though. Even before I was teaching, when I was in the business management realm, I was the idea guy. I made things improve and made it more effective. So that's who I am. I fix things. There we go. There's a new term.
Yep. Because I kept checking on you during football season to see how your team was doing, and
it's bad.
Well, but they're learning.
Yeah.
You learn something from every loss. Actually, I think you probably learn more from a loss than you do from a win.
You do. And
you learn character.
Yeah. You learn to be humble. You learn to. I still love the kids, and they know that.
Teach them how to cheat.
Yeah, you have to teach them how to cheat.
Oh yeah, be like those New England Patriots. Okay, we won't get out of that.
Deflate your balls, man.
Oh, Dara asks another question in chat. She asks, "Do you believe family members that have passed on can come to us in dreams?"
Absolutely, and when that happens, I truly believe that you're with them. I had a crazy dream here about a month back, and there's my dad in the kitchen, and I'm having this great conversation with my dad, and I'm a grown adult. I can see the gray hair still, but we're still in the kitchen and we're talking, and my mom's in the other room, but she's not communicating with us, which seems strange. And then we had that earthquake, and then there's a lot of other things that took place, but. Yeah, I've had a lot of great conversations with my dad, in dreamland.
I know I've had some strange ones with my dad, but in my case, my dad died when I was 10. And, mine have all been, you would think that they would all be me being a kid and him looking the same, but he doesn't.
Yeah.
It's like my dad is aged, even though he passed, he's aged. I guess maybe to make me feel more comfortable.
Yeah, and it's a strange thing, but then you have to grasp that reality that what we're communicating with our loved ones in the spirit world, which I believe that there's a lot of us that don't spend a lot of time in our bodies. You know what I mean? When we go to sleep.
Do you believe that when spirits do communicate with us from beyond that have passed up, that have crossed over, that they actually use their voice, or is it just telekinetic?
I think a lot of it's telekinetic, where you can almost read each other's thoughts, when in that spirit plane. But it is strange though when you hear their voices. And again, what's I mean, it's crazy when you look at the mysteries of of the next realm of existence, and our human brains, frankly, can't quite understand or comprehend. You know what I mean? What that is, what it truly is, and what it's truly going to be.
Because I know that there's a lot of people out there that believe that if a spirit is physically talking to you, then it's probably not your loved one. If you're actually seeing their mouth move and stuff's coming out, it's probably not them. And I don't know if that's based on religion or it's got to be based on something, but I can't say that it's based on fact because we have zero facts.
You know, it was interesting that when I was trying to contact my dad so bad after he passed, and I had no idea what I was doing, and when it was coming back and saying Chuck or Charles, and it wasn't calling me Charlie, which my dad called me all the time, was Charlie. When I finally heard Charlie, I knew it was my dad.
I got a feeling that when my mom comes to talk to me, it's going to be more, she's talked to me before. She never says my name. But when she does, it's going to be Lula Denise. It's not going to be Denise. Mm-hmm. It's going to be the more, I've done something to really irritate the crap out of her, and she's going to come out and call me out on something. It's probably going to be on the stuff about my family, when I'm making fun of my family's past. Things like that, about our family tree being a stick and things like that. But, nothing I haven't said while she was, that I didn't say when she was alive. So.
Sure.
But I don't know. There's so many things out there that we can't say for a fact that in the paranormal we like to say are facts when they're not.
Yeah, I mean, there's the paranormal is not a science.
Yet.
There are a lot of interesting theories coming down the hatch, though. That who knows?
We have some good ones, and some of the people that we know are working on doing that, trying to like Dan Williams.
Yep, Dan Williams, Mike Nichols. I mean, there's a lot of them working on it right now.
Yeah, Greg Pollitt and Noah, they're working on it as well. I mean, there's so many people out there that are trying to get this to be more of a science-based field, and I hope to God that someday that it is. But you know what, guys? We're coming up on our last break, so if you have any questions out there, you need to get them asked now. Get them out there. So. You're listening to WBHM Digital Broadcasting out of Birmingham, Alabama. You're going to come back in 2 minutes, and Chuck and I are going to finish this up, and we'll talk to you soon.
You are listening to WBHM Digital Broadcasting, the best in paranormal talk, only on Paranormal Experience Radio. Broadcasting live out of Birmingham, Alabama.
Hey there, we're back here at the Paranormal Pride with Chuck Banks. We are going to take some of these questions from the chat room, And one of the questions we have right now is from Carl Albertson. He asks, what are your thoughts on some of the equipment that people use for paranormal investigating?